Hello friends, and welcome to another video from my series Quick Thoughts On, in which I always talk about different stories from the rich Star Trek universe. Last week the second episode of Star Trek Lower Decks aired. It was called Envoys, and these are my honest opinions about it. So, I've seen the trailer for the show and I didn't like it, then I have seen the first episode and I didn't like it, so I have decided to not to watch the show anymore, and it took me almost a week till I broke the promise I gave to myself. And because at the time you will see this video, the third episode will be released, it's for me the correct time to talk about the second episode, because why not? I have also decided to not to talk about these episodes in so much detail, plot-wise, as I do in the videos which I do about the Next Generation episodes. These videos will be much more about my feelings and my impressions and things like that, not really about the plot. Speaking about my feelings, did I like this episode? Well, I think it was an improvement. In the first episode I didn't laugh once. This episode has two parallel storylines going on. The main one is about the black woman called Mariner and the white guy called, I think, Boimler. Both of these names are pretty hard to say for my Slavic tongue, so apologies for saying them incorrectly half of the time, or for finding alternate ways how to describe who I am talking about. So in this story, I hate Mariner. I think she might be the worst character ever created for any Star Trek show. I hate her and I seriously hope she will die, or in the better case have a character arc during the whole show, during which she changes drastically, because she needs to change. Right now she is insufferable. The white guy also needs to quote-unquote man up. He's probably the most pathetic character I have ever seen in this universe. I hate this plot and everything who is involved, including all of the events which happen. Wow, that doesn't sound positive, right? So let's be positive for a while. There is a second plotline. This one is about the B characters. The black cyborg looking guy named, I think, Rutherford, and a green girl called Tandy. And this subplot is actually pretty funny. I had a really good time watching it and even laughed several times, which is a good thing because I was watching a comedy, and I actually really start to like Rutherford. He's a weird combination of Geordie LaForge and Sheldon Cooper from The Big Bang Theory. Plus there is clearly a plan to get these two characters together, which is a good thing. I think they would make a cute couple, and this comes from a guy who is not really a huge fan of romance in Star Trek. So what is the actual plot? Well, an energy creature enters the ship, very similar to what happened in the episode The Child from the second season of The Next Generation. Tandy and Mariner, the two women, see it, so Mariner grabs it and puts it in a bucket. Because of course you can catch an energy creature with your hands, somehow. The creature starts to beg for his life, and that's apparently funny. Tandy wants to do the correct thing and call the security, you know, as a Starfleet officer should. But no, Mariner enjoys torturing him because comedy, but she promises to let him go if he gives her a new tricorder, but not a normal one, but a one with a fancy stripe, because women like objects with stripes, I think. Why does she not ask for a tricorder if she wants it? You know, get it in an official way. Why doesn't she replicate one? Did the writers forget that they live on a starship which has the technology to replicate basically anything they want? Oh, sorry, I've been told on Facebook that I should just switch off my brain and just laugh, because it's a comedy. Sorry, but I like jokes which make sense. So the poor guy grabs out a tricorder, literally, and she demands a battery. So he grabs out a kyber crystal, because this is now Star Wars, and a tiny version of himself gets probably killed by hitting the captain. That's the teaser, and I'm left with scratching my head. What was I supposed to be feeling? Nothing what I would consider to be funny. happened, but instead I have seen our main hero murdering an alien. And it's get worse. So in the main plot, Boimler, who I think I'm going to call Brad from now on, gets a mission. He is supposed to fly a shuttle with a Klingon general named Korin to a peace conference, and he, as a good Starfleet officer, is actually getting prepared. See, this is the main problem of his character. He's doing everything right, and he gets punished for it, and laughed at. Mariner, however, does everything wrong. In a real Star Trek show, she would be in jail because she breaks several Starfleet regulations in every episode, and she constantly gets rewarded for her bad behavior. I hate how these two are written. Tandy asks why does she think she heard the name before, to which Mariner replies that all Klingon names sound the same because they have an apostrophe in it. First of all, I'm shocked that they use a racist trope in 2020 in mainstream media. Second, all Klingon names have apostrophes. Let's remember some famous Klingons, okay? Kor, Kang, Koloth, Kolos, Gorkon, Ezedber, or however she was called, Gorkon's daughter, Korex, Chang. Okay, so let's jump to the next generation era. Worf, Gauron, Duras, Toral, Martok, Lursa, Betor. Okay, I finally found one. Betor, cool. What I'm trying to say is that almost no Klingon names have an apostrophe. Again, I like it when the jokes make sense. Anyway, Mariner is being a bitch again, so she forces herself to go with Brad on his mission. Actually, Brad will go with her, she is now his boss. When the Klingon arrives, she assaults him immediately because funny. They are, of course, friends and get, of course, drunk together. At least he gets drunk. She is, of course, so much better than any man on the show that she can drink without getting drunk. Anyway, when they land on the planet, the Klingon lies wasted on the floor. While I can relate to that, I mean, who wasn't sleeping drunk on the floor of a transportation vehicle before an important mission, right? But in the next shot, he steals the shuttle and flies away. And Mariner even says that he is famous for stealing stuff. Yes, a Klingon general, a member of a race famous for honor, is a thief. Do these people hate Star Trek? Anyway, a lot of things happen. I'm not going to talk about them, but the algorithm goes like this. 1. Brett tries to behave like a proper Starfleet officer. 2. Mariner is behaving like somebody who should be locked up. 3. Brett gets into trouble for doing nothing wrong. 4. Mariner saves him. 5. Go to point 1 and repeat. There is nothing really funny going on, and it ends up with Brett depressed, crying in an alleyway, where he says exactly the problem with the whole concept. He does everything right and gets punished, and she does everything wrong and gets rewarded. He wants to resign Starfleet, and Mariner for a moment pretends to be a human. In the end, they get scammed by a Ferengi, and Brett saves them. Then he makes fun of her for it in the ship's bar, and she lets him. The quote-unquote twist, which everybody could see coming, is that she and the Ferengi are friends, and they did it just for Brett to make him feel better about himself. Okay, writers, this is the first time when Mariner behaves like she has a human heart. Please, please, more stuff like that. I hated her during the whole episode. I hated her slightly less in the end of the episode. I would really prefer if I could at least like all of the characters on the show. So, what is the second plot about? Rutherford is trying to find a new career so that he could be with Tandy. They are a cute couple, and I will be really angry if they don't end up together in the last scene. He's basically switching from one position to another. He manages to stress a patient in sickbay, kill multiple children in a holodeck simulation, and kill multiple Borg in another simulation, but he then returns to doing what he loves the most, engineering. Great, it was pointless, but it was very charming, and I enjoyed that. Overall, this episode is a step in the right direction. Hopefully the show will keep improving. On my standard scale from 0 to 10, where 0 is absolute garbage, 10 is a masterpiece, and 5 is just average, I would give this episode 5 out of 10. Why? Well, there are two plot lines. I love one of them and hate the other one, so that's why I decided to give it a 5. Thank you very much for watching, and see you very soon. Bye.